Good morning, dear children. Welcome back. In today's session, we are going to continue our digital class on Class 6, Term 1, Unit 3 in History, Indus Civilization. This is part 3 of the video series. Come, children, let us learn more about the Indus Civilization. Before we move on to today's session, let us have a recap of what we discussed in the last sessions. We learned about the introduction of Harappa civilization. Dear children, initially the people lived in groups. These groups formed communities. These communities evolved into societies, which in due course became civilizations. The ruins of the Harappa were first described by the British East India Company soldier and explorer Charles Mason in his book. He wrote that he saw a ruined brick castle with very high walls and towers built on a hill. This was the earliest historical record of the existence of Harappa. It was in 1924 the Director General of Archaeological Survey of India, Sir John Marshall, found the common features between Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. He concluded that they were part of a very large civilization. Some slight differences were found in the earthenware of Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. This made the researchers conclude that Harappa was older than Mohenjo-daro. Harappan civilization is said to be an urban because of the following things. It was well-conceived town planning, astonishing masonry and architecture, priority for hygiene and public health, standardized weights and measures, solid agricultural and artisanal base. The unique feature of Harappan civilization was town planning. The Harappan city had two planned areas, the upper town in which the administrator used and the part of the city towards the west which was higher and it was called as citadel. The great bath and the granaries were located in the upper town. The part of the city to the east was lower but larger. It was inhabited by the common man, so it was called as lower town. The streets of the Harappan civilization are observed to have a grid pattern. The roads were wide with rounded corners. Houses were built on both sides of the street. The houses were either 1 or 2 stories. Most of the houses had many rooms, a courtyard and a well. Each house had its own toilets and bathrooms. The houses were made using baked bricks. Even sun-dried bricks were also used. The bricks were of uniform size. The roofs were flat. Many of these cities had covered drains. Each drain had a gentle slope so that water could flow. Holes were provided at regular intervals to clear the drains. Every house had its own soak pit. The granary was a massive building with a solid brick foundation. The remains of wheat, barley, millets, sesame, and pulses have been found there. The Harappans were great traders. They had standardized weights and measures. They used stick with marks to measure length. They used carts with spokeless solid wheels. There is evidence for extensive maritime trade with Mesopotamia. Indus seal has been found as far as Mesopotamia, which are modern-day Iraq, Kuwait, and parts of Syria. A naval dockyard has been discovered in Lodhal in Gujarat. It shows the maritime activities of the Indus people. In this session, we will discuss the technology used in that period. Children, now let us learn about the leader in Mohenjo-daro or the priest king. In 1927, a seated male soapstone figure was found in a building with unusually ornamental brickwork and a wall niche. Even though there is no evidence that priests or monarchs ruled Mohenjo-daro, archaeologists named this dignified figure as a priest king. The sculpture is 17.5 centimeters tall and shows a neatly bearded man with pierced earlobes and a fillet around his head, possibly all that is left of one's elaborate hairstyle or hairdress. His hair is neatly combed back. He wears an armband and a clock with drilled trefoil, which shows traces of red. A sculpture of a seated male has been unearthed in a building with a headband on the forehead and a smaller ornament on the right upper arm. So that sculpture has got a headband as well as a small ornament on the right upper arm. His hair is carefully combed and beard finely trimmed. You can see his hair is neatly combed and his beard is trimmed neatly. 2 holes beneath the ears suggest that the head ornament might have been attached till the ear. So there are 2 holes in his ear suggesting that head ornament, whatever he wore on the head, was attached to the ears. The left shoulder is covered with a shawl-like garment decorated with designs of flowers and rings. That pattern is called as trefoil. This shawl pattern is used by people even today in those areas. You can see the same pattern being used by people in the area. Dear children, the pictures you see is that of the frontal, rear and profile view of the priest king or the leader in Mohenjo-daro, and you can also find the discovery of the priest king statue in 1925 to 26 at Mohenjo-daro. Dear children, the Indus people had developed a system of standardized weights and measures. They had standard weights and measures. You can see the ruler there. The ruler was more or less a mere measuring rod crafted out of copper alloy. Some of the rulers were made of ivory. The ivory scale found in Lothal in Gujarat is 1704 millimeters, which is the smallest division ever recorded on a scale of other contemporary civilization. That is, there are 27 total number of divisions on the scale, which is equal to 2.7 angulas, which is 1/40th of Dhanusha of 108 angulas. So that was a precise measuring device. The word civilization comes from the ancient Latin word civis, which means city. So word civilization comes from the Latin word civis, which means city. Dear children, the statue you see is a mesmerizing sculpture known as a dancing girl. It is one of the highest achievements of the artists of Mohenjo-daro. It is made of bronze and it belongs to the Indus Valley civilization. It is 10.5 centimeters in height, 5 centimeters in width and 2.5 in depth. It is sculpted using lost wax process, which involves making a mold and pouring molten metal into it. The statue's hairdressing is a style worn by Indian women today and in the past, and her armful of bangles is similar to a style worn by contemporary Kutchi Rabri tribal women. So the statue is recognized as a woman from the Baluchi region. This little statue was found at Mohenjo-daro. When Sir John Marshall saw the statue known as the dancing girl, he said, "When I first saw them, I found it difficult to believe that they were prehistoric modeling. Such as this was unknown in the ancient worlds up to the age of Greece. I thought that these figures had found their way into levels some 3000 years old to which they probably belonged." Dear children, the KVT complex, the Korkai Vanji Tondi, spread over Afghanistan and Pakistan, has many places. Names of those were mentioned in Sangam literature. Korkai, Vanji, Tondi, Matrai, Urai and Kodalgarg are the names of places in Pakistan. Gurkai and Pumpuhar in Afghanistan are related to the cities and ports mentioned in the Sangam age. The names of the rivers Kavri and Poruns in Afghanistan, and the rivers Kaveriwala and Purnal in Pakistan also occur in the Sangam literature. So you can see in Sangam literature you have references to the various places in Pakistan as well as Afghanistan. Dear children, do you know the hidden treasures of Indus civilization? The inscription or the written in a script of those times can provide us information about the customs, practices and other aspects of any place or time. So far, the Indus script has not been deciphered. That is, archaeologists are trying to understand what is the meaning of the script. So far, they are not able to do it. Therefore, we must look for other clues to know about the Indus people and their lifestyle. The reason for not being able to decipher would be because of the fact that it was recently excavated. Apparel, we'll go through the clothing. Cotton fabrics were in common use. People used cotton fabric. Clay spindles unearthed suggest that the yarn was spun. So they knew at that time itself to spin and to make yarn. Wool was also used. So they used cotton as well as wool, and they had clay spindles. Love and peace. Settlements were built on giant platforms and elevated grounds. Wherever they were settlement, it was on giant platforms and elevated. It was above from the ground. The Indus civilization seemed to have been a peaceful one. They were a peace-loving people. Few weapons were found, and there is no evidence of an army. There is only peace-loving people, and there is no evidence of an army, and very few weapons only were found. They displayed their status with garments and precious jewelry. So their status was through their garments and the precious jewelry they wore. They had an advanced civic sense. They wanted to have a neat and clean surrounding, and they had a very highly advanced civic sense. Dear children, now let us know about their ornaments. The ornaments were popular among both men and women. Both men and women wore ornaments. They adorned themselves with necklaces, armlets, bangles, finger rings, ear studs and anklets. So they've had all the types of ornaments like necklaces, armlets, bangles, rings, ear studs and even anklets. The ornaments were made of gold, silver, ivory, shell, copper, terracotta as well as precious stone. They used all the materials that is available to them. They include gold, silver, ivory, shell, copper, terracotta and precious stone. Horse and iron were unknown to the people of Indus. They never knew about iron or horse. It was unknown to the Indus people. The people in the Indus used red quartz stone called as carnelian to design jewelry. They used a red stone called as carnelian to design jewelry. Copper was the first metal discovered and used by humans. So the first metal discovered and used by humans are copper. Dear children, now let us learn who governed these Harappans. Historians believe that there existed a central authority that controlled planning of towns and oversee trade, maintenance of drainage and peace in the city. So there should have been, or there would have been a controlling a central authority who was in control of planning of towns and in charge of trade and maintenance of drainage as well as peace in the city. Now let us learn about the occupation. The main occupation of the Indus civilization people is not known. However, agriculture, handicrafts, pottery making, jewelry making, weaving, carpentry and trading were practiced. So they were good in agriculture, handicrafts, pottery making, jewelry making, weaving, carpentry and trading. There were merchants, traders, and artisans. So, three types of people were there: merchants who used to sell things, traders who used to do the business, as well as artisans who used to make the handicrafts or artifacts. Rearing of cattle was another occupation. Another occupation would have been rearing of cattle. People of those times knew how to use a potter's wheel. So they knew how to use the potter's wheel, and they were very much fond of terracotta. They reared domesticated animals, maybe cow or buffalo, goat. They had animals. Now let us understand about the pottery. Dear children, pottery was practiced using the potter's wheel. It was well fired. They used to bake it, burn it, and make it ready. Potteries were red in color with beautiful designs in black. You can see beautiful black designs. The broken piece of pottery have animal figures and geometric designs on it. Let us learn about the religious belief. We don't have any evidence pointing to specific deities or their religious practices. There might have been worship of mother goddesses, which symbolizes fertility, which is concluded based upon the excavation of several female figurines. Even though we don't have any evidences of any religious practices or specific deity, they would have worshipped mother goddess. Dear children, now let us understand about the toy culture. Toys like carts, cows with movable heads and limbs, clay balls, tiny doll, a small clay monkey, terracotta squirrels eating a nut, clay dogs, and male dancer have been found. So you can find so much of toys like carts, cows with movable heads and limbs, clay balls, tiny doll, a small clay monkey, terracotta squirrel eating a nut, clay dogs, and male dancer. They made various types of toys using terracotta, which show that they enjoyed playing. There were so many toys made of terracotta that shows they were very much interested in playing. Dear children, now let us learn about the decline of the Harappans. Many scholars believe that the collapse of the Indus Valley civilization was caused by climate change. Some experts believe that drying of the Saraswati River, which began around 1900 BCE, was a main cause for climate change. Or it could be a great flood that struck the area. Various elements of the Indus civilization are found in later cultures, suggesting the civilization does not disappear suddenly due to an invasion. Another change in the Harappan climate might have been the eastward moving monsoons or winds that bring heavy rains. The Harappans might have migrated towards the Ganges basin in the east, where they could have established villages and isolated farms. With the reduced production of goods, there would have been a decline in trade with Egypt and Mesopotamia. And by around 1700 BCE, most of the Indus Valley civilization cities had been abandoned. By 1900 BCE, the Harappan culture started declining. It is assumed that the civilization met with repeated floods, ecological changes, invasion, natural calamity, climatic changes, deforestation, or maybe an epidemic. So these are the reasons assumed to be the causes for the decline of the Harappans. What are they? Repeated floods, changes in the ecology, invasion, natural calamity, climate change, deforestation, and epidemic. Dear children, the archaeological site at Mohenjo-daro has been declared as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, and the earliest form of writing was developed by the Sumerians. Dear children, let us learn about the general facts about Indus civilization. Indus civilization is the one among the oldest in the world. It is also the largest among 4 ancient civilizations. The world's first planned cities are found in this civilization. The Indus also had advanced drainage and sanitation system. There was a high sense of awareness on public health. We learned about the radiocarbon dating method, which was used as a standard tool for archaeologists. Also known as C14 method, the radiocarbon method uses the radioactive isotope of carbon called carbon-14 to determine the age of an object. You know, children, an atom is consisting of protons, neutrons and electrons. Now, isotopes are atoms with same number of protons and electrons but a different number of neutrons. All isotopes have the same atomic number. All isotopes of an element has the same atomic number. A radioactive isotope or radioisotope are radioactive isotopes of an element. They have atoms that contain an unstable combination of neutrons and protons or excess energy in their nucleus which they emit. So C14 is a radioactive isotope of carbon, and using radiocarbon dating method we can find out the age of an object. Now let us get on to the summary. When man began to live in a settled life, it marked the dawn of civilization. It marked the beginning of civilization. River valleys were responsible for the growth of civilization. Harappan culture was mainly urban in nature. Cities were well planned with covered drainage and straight, wide roads cutting each other at right angles. The people of that time had great engineering skills. The Great Bath is one of the earliest public tank. Dear children, the civilization extended from the Makran coast of Baluchistan in the west, Gagar Hakka river valley in the east, Afghanistan in the northeast, and Maharashtra in the south. So west side he had Makran coast of Baluchistan, east side Gagar Hakra river valley, northeast Afghanistan, and south he had Maharashtra. This happened in the Indus Valley. Now let us understand what else happened elsewhere in the world. In Egypt, you can find the Great Pyramid of Giza built by King Khufu in 2500 BCE, built with limestone. In Mesopotamia, that is the Sumerian period, Ur-Ziggurat built the King Ur-Nammu in honor of the moon god Sin. Abu Simbel site of two temples built by the Egyptian king Ramesses II. Dear children, you can find the Indus Valley civilization, which is considered as the oldest one considering Egyptian as well as Mesopotamian. Now let's go through the glossary. Archaeologist, 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 is one who studies the remains of the past by excavations and exploration. Excavate, 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 to uncover by digging away. Urbanization, URBANISATION, urbanization, population shift from rural areas to urban areas. Pictograph, PICTOGRAPH, pictograph is a record consisting of pictorial symbols. Steatite, STEATITE, steatite is a soft variety of talc stone. Spindles, SPINDLES, spindles is a device used to spin cloths. Bitumen, BITUMEN, bitumen is a waterproof tar. Artifact, ARTEFACT, artifact is an object shaped by human craft of historical interest. Dockyard, DOCKYARD, dockyard is an enclosed area of water in a port for loading, unloading and repair of ships. Seal, SEAL, seal is an embossed emblem, figure or symbol. Before winding up the session, let us have a recap. In this session, we discussed the technology used during the Harappan age. We learned that the Indus people had developed a system of standardized weights and measures. The ivory scale is the smallest division ever recorded on a scale of other contemporary civilization. It was found in Lothal in Gujarat. Cotton fabric were in common use. Clay spindle unearthed suggests that the yarn was spun. The Indus civilization had to be a peaceful one. Few weapons were found and there is no evidence of an army. They had advanced civic sense. Ornaments were popular among men and women. Indus people used red quartz stone called as carnelian to design jewelry. Historians believe there existed a central authority that controlled planning of towns and overseas trade, maintenance of drainage, and peace in the city. The main occupation of Indus people is not known. Maybe agriculture, handicrafts, pottery making, jewelry making, weaving, carpentry, and trading were practiced. They had a toy culture, very fond of toys. In the next session, we will discuss the evaluation, that is, the book back answers. Time for worksheet. Worksheet number 3. Roman number 1. Answer the following. Question number 1. Name any two Indus sites located in the Indian border. Name any two Indus sites located in the Indian border. Question number 2. How do you know that Indus people traded with other countries? How do you know that Indus people traded with other countries? With that, we come to the end of today's session. Thank you for watching. For more videos, please subscribe our YouTube channel, youtube.com/samcheerkalvi guide. Thank you.